Oof, right in the eyeball. Right in the eye. Hey y'all, welcome back to Wildworks. We are back working on the CJ5, old Cracker Jack the 5th here. And last time we were working on it, we got it running, we got it driving, got brakes working on it. Been playing around with it a little bit on the property and having a little fun with it. But we got a lot more work to do. We kind of scabbed it together last time to get it running. So there's some things that we want to do and try to get fixed correctly-ish. The rear brake had a wheel cylinder bust on me while I was playing around, so got to get that fixed. Like I say, we got some wiring to do. Got to change the valve cover gasket because the valve cover gasket is leaking profusely, like very, very bad. So need to get it changed out. Let's take a look at it, and I'll show you what we got going on. This wiring is janky. Only one fan is hooked up, so we're gonna have to get both fans hooked up, get this wiring at least routed away from everything. We've already had some issues with wires almost melting. It got laid up against the exhaust manifold, so we got to repair that, get the fans hooked up, both of them, so they work properly. Maybe they'll keep it from running hot. And like I said, we got some issues with the rear brakes. The front brakes are working great. The rear brakes, you can see right here, if you look real close, you can see this wetness on this tire, which definitely indicating that the wheel cylinder is shot on that. I figured since that one blew out and is leaking, the other one's probably not real great either, and they were cheap enough that I went ahead and bought both of them. So we're going to pop them tires off, try to get those wheel cylinders replaced, bleed the brakes again. We need to get these seats bolted down as well, and we need to kind of clean this thing up. When I was playing in the mud, it kind of got everywhere, so we need to do that. Try to get those seats bolted down. Maybe if we have time we can get it cleaned up, but we definitely need to clean it up eventually. I did notice, let me put this on for you. I want to show you guys something that just surprised me. So I was playing around in here trying to get all these knobs and doodads working and pulling out and everything like that. Let me see if I can turn it on. Look at that. Windshield wipers just started working, and the blinker worked. We got a lot of work to do, so let's get after it. Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is get this thing jacked up where I can get these tires off. I'll start trying to fix these rear brakes first. It's already super hot out here, which that's nothing new to us, right? So we're gonna get this thing jacked up, get it on jack stands, get these tires popped off of here, and we'll start looking at these brakes. Of course, I'm gonna do the right rear first, because it's definitely the one that I know is messed up. So we'll get that one swapped out and then move over to the left side and try to get that one swapped out. Oh, hot. Right in the ear. Man, ain't hardly did anything. It's already super sweaty and swampy. Anywho, Just wanted to show you guys that on the last video you see me do the front ones, but I didn't do anything with the rear ones because they looked okay and everything. So I just wanted to show you some of the differences in the front and the rear on these CJ5s. So one thing you notice is it's pretty much the basic same shape and everything, but this right here, it doesn't have a copper washer that seals it. It's a hard line that goes directly into the wheel cylinder. So when you're hooking it up, see this is just like a regular hard brake line, so you don't have to worry about putting a copper washer on it or anything like that. The actual flared end of the hard line seals up to the wheel cylinder, so you don't have to worry about that. But the basic installation works pretty much the same as the front. It goes you just slide it in there in that hole back there, and then it's got two bolts on that come from the back side that hold it on. And of course the bleeder is should be on top, because that's where your air is going to go. And then you just screw the hard line in here and you're good to go. I'm going to clean these up. These are the goes into the plunger of the wheel cylinder, so they're kind of grimy and gross, so I want to clean these up so they'll work well and slide back and forth like they're supposed to, like they're intended to do. Get the wheel cylinder put back on, put the line on. We'll then move to the driver's side and do that one as well, and we'll start bleeding these things off. So I got these all cleaned up, and I'm going to start installation. But first I want to, if you can see all the grease and grime and old brake fluid that's leaked out, I'm going to try to clean all that up real quick. Just spray it with some brake clean, and then we can start going back together with it. All right, clean up aisle 2. I should have put a pan under that. Live and learn. Now we're going to move to the other side now. Just a little tip, not so much of a trick, but just something to watch out for, is this metal line right here. I mean, it's a metal line, so it's stiff and it's not flexible at all. So when you go to start this line, be extra careful that you don't get it cross-threaded, because it's very easy to do, because it's very hard to line up perfectly when you're doing that. So just be mindful of that, and when you go to start it, don't cross-thread it, because that's not good for a hydraulic line. I'm going to move over to the other side, rinse and repeat, and then I think we'll be done with the rear brakes. We'll put the tires back on and be good. Well, we got to bleed it. Get that done, and then we'll top it off with brake fluid, and we'll try to bleed these things off. All right, I got updates. It's hot. Other than that, did get the brakes done. Got a good firm pedal on her, and we're about to get started under this engine bay. Try to get this. I guess the next thing we're going to be doing is trying to change this valve cover gasket and get it cleaned up. I think I might paint up the valve cover, make it a little prettier. So let's get started. Here we go. So the valve cover on this thing, pretty straightforward. It's got some bolts around the perimeter here and there and down here, and we're gonna pull those out, pull this valve cover off, and then we'll get to scraping and cleaning on the valve cover gasket, get it swapped out, put it back on there, and hopefully that oil leak will stop. And maybe scuff that thing up, clean it up, and throw some paint on it, see what kind of paint we got that's high temp, that we can maybe clean that valve cover up a little bit. I don't know why they done this, but if you look down in there, this valve cover sits kind of underneath the hose, the top radiator hose, and then you got this head bolt right here that you got to go over that and in between that. So I'm gonna have to be really careful on my way back together with it to make sure that this thing seals up and don't knock the gasket off of there. Got me a little scraper here that I want to go across the surface of this head with, get it cleaned up, wiped down, so to get a good seal, and hopefully get rid of this oil leak that we have, or as Laney says, her oil leak. It's kind of cruddy, but it ain't too bad. Back here is going to be a hassle a little bit, looks like. Can't really get back there to it. But we'll get this side real good and the front side. Then we'll move to the back side to try to get that. Looking at the valve train, it's a little bit dirty in there. Not terrible. I've seen worse. This is what I got planned. I'll take this wire wheel and clean up this valve cover just like this, spray it down with some brake clean, clean it off, get it real dry, do the same thing with the cap, and I'll show you guys here in just a second what color we're going to go with. First, let's get this thing cleaned off real good. I might put it down on the floor so I don't mess up nothing up here. So this is just going to be low down and dirty. Let's try to get this rust off of it and get it cleaned up where the paint is stick to it. And then we should be good to go to get it painted up. Of course, this might take a minute, so let's speed y'all up. I didn't realize it, but it's like 2:30 in the afternoon and I hadn't ate anything all day, but my wife was sweet enough to bring me some lunch out here thinking about me, so thank you, Amber. And but now time to get back after this and try to get this thing cleaned up and painted up and looking pretty. So here we go. Alright, so we got everything cleaned up. We're gonna got it prepped to paint it, and unfortunately it's overcast, it's too hot for the paint, it's real humid, so that's not ideal conditions for painting, but we're gonna do it anyway. I got my wife Amber here. She's going to help me get it painted while I'll finish up the wiring and stuff inside the engine bay, and that way that'll be drying as I'm finishing that up, and then we can put everything back together once it's dry. So okay, babe, well, what we got here, we're gonna paint two different paints. We got high temp engine paint because it is going on the valve cover, so it's gonna get hot. We're gonna paint the cap this black right here. It's DE 1654 flat black engine paint. We're gonna paint that flat black, and then for the valve cover we got this Rust-Oleum engine enamel. Enamel. And this is should be industrial gloss, industrial red, and that's got way big a number for me to read, but for all you part number guys out there, that's it, 366432. And we're going to paint the valve cover this red right here, and then we'll paint the cap black to give it that little bit of contrast. I think it's going to turn out really good. So Amber's going to get started doing that, and I'm going to get started in the engine bay. Doing here is working on this fan wiring, and what I have to do is I'm going to have to find a 12-volt keyed power source and run that black wire to the 12-volt key. The blue wire is the power wire to the fans, and then the white wire is your signal wire, and then you have your main power wire. That's the only thing that goes on that relay. So we're going to do that and start getting all this wiring done. Alright, so right now you notice we don't have any power right here, but when you flip this key on, we now have power. So what I'm going to do is run the key on power wire from the relay to here, and then that way when you cut the vehicle off, it'll shut the fans off if they're on. So the way they had it wired in, I'm not sure who did this. I thought they were just trying to test the fans. I'm gonna have to, they had it spliced into here, so I'm gonna cut this and splice it back together, and then I'll splice a wire on the black and run it inside to the key and put a terminal end on it, or a ring terminal, to put it onto the keyed switch. So let's get after that and do that. I'm using weather type butt splices here. You can heat shrink them down and it makes a weather tight seal, so if it does get wet, we won't have no worries still. You need a cigarette lighter or something, babe. You guys, like a campfire starter or something? So I'm going to take this, and this is going to go to the key switch and power the relay. And this only powering the relay, so it ain't got to be that thick of wire. It's not going to have a lot of amps or juice going through it, so it ain't got to be that thick. It's just supplying 12 volts to the relay, so the relay will work. So I'm going to use this wire and run it inside to the switch, where I'll have a keyed switch signal to the relay. I always like to give it a little tug to make sure it's in there and I didn't miss the crimp. So I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing, but it's just connecting this to the black relay power wire. And I want to run this over and through here. Let me see, where did it come through at? Somewhere up here. Ah, I see it. So I'm going to grab it right here. Pull it all the way through. Okay. And then I'm going to hook it up to this. Bam, right there. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of slack, just for, so I'd rather have too much than not enough. On here, crimp her down, tug tug. All right, this around, So now when you got the key turned on, it's going to send power to that relay so it'll work. Theoretically. Switch back in. Ooh. Well, how? Hey, these seats are removable. Let's just take this out for now. You know, they probably make a tool that fits right on that you could use to tighten it up with. Make sure I didn't mess up nothing. So now I need the lighter fire maker thing. Where is that? So all you have to do is just put some fire on these and it'll shrink these covers up and it'll form a weather tight seal. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I just do it with this lighter that works great. Is it wind? Wind. All right, here we go. Got it. See how it's shrinking that thing up? That's what I want it to do. Why? All right, I think I got that one getting shrunk up. Now it's time to do this one. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, all right. Really? Hold on. I gotta try to block the wind or something. I don't know what's going on here. Huh? Nah, it's fine. Yes, turn it off, please. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe shake it up. Something like it's kind of flaccid. Huh? Is there another one in the camper or something, babe? I don't think this one's got any juice in it. Huh? Really?
Yeah. Try again. Try again. It's not doing it. I'm gonna throw this thing across the river. That's not gonna accomplish anything.
Hold on. That'll work. We just give it a little bit of a kiss, just the tiniest little, just like a boosh.
Okay.
Just skadoosh. Ow! That was my finger. You smell the hair? Oh! Ow! Got it. It's done. It just singed. Whew. Okay. See, that's done. Factory. All right. Now what? What are we doing now? Oh, yeah. We got to fix this. So this right here, it's got this house wiring on it. And we're going to reroute. We're going to route it down home. And over home. Do we need to thing with the extra? Okay. And I can tie strap it right here. That's when you know a job's done right. And then just loop it up right here and just put an end on that, right? Okay, gotta find the end. These are weather tight too, and you can with the thing and it'll seal around it too. Where is my thing? Alright, I'm getting too hot. This is straight house wiring. Okay, give me that little bitty lighter so I don't overheat it. Oof. Oh, nuts. It's the wrong end. Don't worry, we edited that out. Okay. I need this one. It's got two different ones in there. I grabbed the wrong one. You ever made a mistake? Nope. That's my first one this year. So, I'm doing good. How am I going to get around that? I got an idea. I'm going to go down here, and we'll follow this down to here. Then we'll come across to here, and then jump across to there, and then we'll have it. Got it? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Let's get it done. Chop, chop. Let's go. Crimp, cut. First thing we got to do is this janky stuff right here. Got to get rid of all this. Then, see, this one's melted right here, so we need to cut this back and then redo all that. Can it run along here and then down here to that? Then we'll have to have a piece that runs across there. I think I'm figuring this out, babe. But how good I'm doing? All right, you know they say that if you do wiring correctly, no one's ever going to notice. Well, you noticed the hell out of this, so I don't know what that says, but it is tied up out of the way. I have my power wire and my signal wire run along this harness, going down, tie strap to it, and then it splits off right here, and this goes up to my signal, and I put a crimped connector on that, and then the power goes down here along the firewall, and then right here I got both wiring harness, and I need to tie strap this so it won't be, that might get into that. We have to do something about that. Anywho, so I got both powers going into one connector, and then I got this power coming off the relay into this connector, and I did that so I can unplug it in case you need to take this out. You can unplug it here and take the whole assembly out. Oh, my funny bone. I have this going to a switch 12-volt power source, and then this is your main power source straight from the battery. And then that's how you can wire up electric fans, and in just a second I'll show you how easy way to test them and see it, make sure they're both coming on, because this temperature switch basically works like a ground. So you can turn everything on, and then you can ground this wire to the block, and the fans should come on. So we're going to try it here in just a second and see if, check and make sure the fans are coming on. So let's try that. So what I'm going to do is I want to wrap this wire, I stripped it off and wrapped it around the signal wire, and I should be able to turn everything on and just ground this to anywhere on the motor, and the fans should come on. Should be able to ground it. Both of them come on. So I guess this is the part number right here, VS50258 Charlie. This is the valve cover, a little bit thicker than normal valve cover, but it's the valve cover gasket for the 258 inline for the Jeeps. I want to open this up, stick it on our hopefully dry valve cover, see if I can wiggle this thing into place and get it put in. Whoops. And upside down. So these valve covers have these little slits in it that line up with little places in the valve cover gasket that hold the valve cover gasket in place, which is going to be helpful because the way you gotta maneuver this thing down into place, it needs to be held in place pretty good. So hopefully these things will hold it in place very well while I do what I have to do, trying to get this thing wiggle down in there. See, this is what I'm talking about. So you got to fit in between here, this bolt and this neck, water neck, but you got to do it with all this stuff in the way, because you got to kind of wiggle it back here, but then you got to have enough space to wiggle it up here, and then you got to knock the thing off, and then you got to, yeah, so there's that. Oh man, I just painted this thing. Kind of a pain. Oh, see, it's already falling off. We got to make sure that don't happen. There's probably Jeep guys out there like, no man, just do it like this, it's real easy. There's probably a trick to it that I don't know. Like that, maybe. I gotta look completely around it to make sure that the gasket didn't squeeze out anywhere. It already chipped the paint. Oh man. We have to do that marketplace makeover and just psh, psh. So there's one way back here. I'm going to use this power tool. Okay. Got it. I don't know the torque sequence on this, but I've been around. But you always want to go from the center out and in like a circle pattern, but there's not one in the center over here, but there is right here. So I want to start with this one and just snug them all up. You don't want it super tight on a valve cover because you will split that cork gasket. Now I'm going to get an actual ratchet that I can use in my hand so I can feel how much torque I'm actually putting on it, and then I'll snug them all down, and hopefully this will resolve our oil leaking issue that we have on the back side there. Alright, I think I got them all tightened out. The gasket seems to be pretty snug, so we'll get the grommets back in. We're going to hook up the crankcase evacuation system.
Sounds fake.
Sounds fake? Well, that's what it is, babe, I promise. Woo-wee! That girl shine now, baby. What do you think? I mean, I know the rest of the engine sucks, but I was thinking that it was going to turn out to be a different red. A little bit more brighter fire engine-y red than what it really came out. It's more of an orangey red, but that's fine. That, like that. Well, now that looks like crap. Ooh, that's split. But I mean, it doesn't matter really. Like it's not going to make that much of a difference. Now, unwrap that that right there, babe. And then what we're going to have to do is maybe get a piece of tape, because this is supposed to be together like that, but it's not no more. And this is really just a protection for the cable. The cable kind of is what makes the thing do the thing. So we're just going to tape this up, and if it don't work, we'll change the whole thing out. How about that? Yeah, Travis, that sounds like a good idea. Like push the two ends together. Yeah. The only place that I think that we could actually put it would be right here. These are actually heater hoses, but I don't know if the heater core worked, I would just hook it up and then put this in line. But I don't know if the heater core is busted. If it is, it's not going to work. So I'm just going to cut it right here stick it, and then tie it up out of the way. What do you think? I didn't have a hose clamp big enough, so I had 4 smaller ones. I put 2 together to make one big enough for the heater hose. And I'm gonna cut this heater hose, slide it in there real quick, and clamp it. And hopefully we won't lose all the coolant out of it. Oof, right in the eyeball. Oh. Okay. Well, it's not leaking as bad, as terribly as I thought it was gonna. Put that right there. And then take this one, put it right there. This is pretty rigged up, but all right. I think it's gonna work. Good? Good. All right, tie straps. I think for now we're gonna be done under here. Let's try to spray that block off a little bit so we'll know if it's still leaking. Yep, nothing. Right in the eye. Just painted that. Might have to redo that. The brake clean just took all that paint off.
Are you kidding?
No. I mean, it still looks okay. Dang, I hate that. What was I doing?
That's not the paint.
Besides messing up the paint, we should probably put this breather back on. And then we'll have to start working out how in the world are we going to, but anyway, how in the world are we going to get those seats bolted down? What I'm doing is looking for oil when we change that valve cover. It's probably not going to start showing right now. A lot of the old oil burn off. I think the best thing to do is just to go drive it, and then we'll come back and check it out. Let it get some heat built up and see how that works out for us. What the heck? Why ain't this stopping there?
The other side stop?
Yeah. That look level?
Sure.
Sit in there like that. Want a little bit of forward and backward, right? Doctor said I need to back you out of me. Does that look level? I mean, like side to side? Like, which way does it need to go?
I thought you were comparing it to the other one.
No. It looks like it's sitting to the left a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Compared to the steering wheel. It needs to go. We're gonna have to get some hardware. Oops. Really? Just broke a bit. I don't know if I'm gonna drill through the muffler right there. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. So I marked the holes and drilled a pilot hole. Now I got to drill through this. This one's got like a little frame on the bottom, so I'm drilling through 2 pieces of metal. Then I'll drill the top ones and we can bolt this seat down, then we'll move on to the next one. my wrist. That one should hold on good. All right, do we got bolts and hose?
Yep.
It's gonna be worth it having them bolted down, baby. That was easy. Well, it came a natural rainstorm today, but that didn't deter us. We did get the seats bolted down. They're not perfect, but had to do a little fabrication on this seat over there on that side too. I had some flat bar, put a bend in it, drilled a couple holes, got those bolted down on the front. Losing access to my box, but that's no big deal. Back there, I got it bolted down to the factory, where the factory seat sits, and also back here. The only thing about this seat right here is it won't come all the way back, because I think this is supposed to actually be bent down, and it was bent flat, and I didn't know better, so I just got it bolted down right there, which that's fine for what we're doing and who's going to be riding in it. And on this seat, I don't know if you can see down there, but I just drilled some holes through the floor on the back side too. You can't see, but back there I drilled some holes. Got it all bolted down, and I think that's going to wrap it up for today. We'll go up the road first. Four-wheel drive and go back behind the back 40 right here.
All right.
Good brakes now.
Might get lit.
Yeah. Four-wheel dig. I gotta get out and like lock the hubs in. It ain't like automatic. You gotta do some work to put this in four-wheel drive. I don't know how hot it is. Parking brake? Kinda. Yeah. don't think it goes in full with low, but it goes in full with high. All right. I think that's it. Parking brake off. Whoops. This is where we need lights. Why don't you put lights on it?
Right?
I'm not gonna go through that.
Okay.
Four-wheel drive's gotta be working. We've been spinning it, right?
You gotta watch your mirrors.
Oh yeah, I got mirrors. Do this one. I need some mud grabbers on here.
Yeah, you do.
These old street tires don't do good.
You get money at all.
Yes?
Why? Why did I get some of that? You didn't.
Sorry. What's up, bud? That new? Huh? That new? Nah, we painted it. It's not on now.
It's on now.
Yeah.
I don't see any new oil.
All right, let's cut it off and see if the fan's cut off. Yeah, I think it's hitting a shroud.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
I don't see any coolant coming out of here, so I think we're good on that.
What made you choose red?
It's because I had it. It was high temp paint, and I had it, so I just put red on it. You like it? And these are red too, so who knew?
Paint the Jeep red.
Through all of them while ago. I need to back up. That's high. We got a lot accomplished, a lot of stuff we want to do. We still got to get lights put on it, Still need to clean it up. We still need to put some tail lights on it. Want to get a top for it. You know, there's a bunch of things we want to do to this thing. So we're going to continue working on it along when we can. And we're going to probably go have some fun since it rained and we got plenty of mud to play in. Appreciate you guys watching, and join us next time. See you then.